Hi, how you doing? In this video, we're going to talk about why it is that BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is so successful when compared to catch wrestling. Obviously, I don't mean as a fighting art. In reality, they're both a form of wrestling. One style may suit a person better than another, but I'm on record as saying that catch is the superior art. Catch wrestling is a fundamentally superior fighting system to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and for the sake of consistency, I'm very happy to stick with that. What I'm talking about is why it is that every town, seemingly in the Western world, has at least one BJJ school, and pretty much nobody you meet has even heard of catch wrestling. Why is it that Jiu-Jitsu has exploded onto the scene, has new people trying it out almost every session in every club, and why people become so focused on and dedicated to the art from the day they start? Obviously, we've talked about this before. There's the historical associations. There's the fact that it ticks the boxes of martial art because of the gi. There's the fact that catch is more aggressive and tends to hurt more. There's the fact that it's more high impact and harder on your body. But I genuinely don't think any of those are the real reason. Before I tell you what I do think it is, I just want to quickly tell you about membership. I've just finished uploading the first half of a course I created some years back. It looks at the concept of chancery in classical pugilism, and it's currently only available to members. There are 7 videos so far. The other 7 will follow over the next few days. And over the next few months, there'll be a lot of these old tutorial videos coming out for members. The production value isn't great by today's standards, but the content's still reasonably solid. So maybe sign up as a member. Then you can add some proper old-school boxing techniques to your repertoire. Anyway, let's get back to the video. The learning curve in any form of grappling is really steep. There's a world of difference between a brand new trial student and a fighter with a few months' experience, and in reality this carries on for years. Obviously there's variation between person and person, and between schools, but the gap between the equivalent of a white belt in jiu-jitsu and a purple belt is massive. The same is true of wrestling. Both arts fully acknowledge this journey and the lack of ability those at the bottom of the ladder have, but they deal with it in a very different way. Go onto any social media platform and let yourself fall down the rabbit hole of BJJ memes, and you'll see vast amounts of content about how ridiculous new people are, how they're targeted by one-stripe white belts trying to assert their authority, but also how white belts are terrible grapplers and how coloured belts destroy them for fun. It's kind of funny. If a little reminiscent of schoolyard bullying, but there's another aspect that comes into play in BJJ that takes the edge off this. There's a lot of talk about how you're supposed to be bad at it, that it's okay to be a terrible grappler, that all you actually have to do is keep turning up, and then without even realising you'll slowly but surely find yourself higher up in the pecking order. You'll still get beaten up, but suddenly you're wearing a blue belt and everyone's mocking you for giving up if you miss a single session. You've got a purple and all the brown belts are now bringing their A game every time you roll. You're a brown belt and the black belts all need you to know that they're still better than you. Or you're a black belt and everyone in the world desperately wants to tap you. Being crap is part and parcel of practicing the art. It's part of your identity and everybody acknowledges it. Losing is a normal, even desirable part of the learning process. This doesn't really happen in catch. Historically, over the last decade or two, when somebody goes to a seminar or a residential camp and comes out raving about this amazing thing they've discovered, they just get told they're not a real catch wrestler. Maybe your school or club welcomes people and nurtures beginners, but as a community, we suck. We're so insecure that we can't see past the fact that if one person claiming to be part of our art isn't good at it, it must by definition reflect on all of us. Clearly, that's preposterous. Is Roger Gracie any less of a legend because Jeff the two-stripe white belt's never actually beaten anyone in a live roll? No, clearly not. And is Jeff any less of a valuable member of the BJJ community because he keeps shrugging off that failure and turns up again and again and again? No, if anything, he's the one we should be emulating. Apologies to any two-stripe white belts called Jeff out there. Is Gordon Ryan any less dominant because I got tapped out by a white belt last week? No. Obviously. The fact is that in BJJ, people welcome you to the community. They see the shared passion as a point of connection. They don't see you as a threat to them. In catch, not so much. If you met David Goggins and told him you'd just taken up running, I would bet my life he wouldn't take the piss and say you weren't a proper runner. In reality, my level of skill on the wrestling mats has no bearing on whether Sakuraba single-handedly challenged the Gracie legend and won. Your ability to hit a half-halch neck crank in competition doesn't change the fact that Josh Barnett was the first person in 16 years to make Dean Lister tap in competition. We need to stop berating people for not being good and start applauding them for turning up in the first place. When a new catch class starts up, we should be celebrating, not feeling threatened. When one organisation runs a competition, we should all turn up and support it in any way we can. We're a global mess of splintered groups, all struggling in isolation. We need to stop focusing so much on skill and start looking for passion, for heart, for the hunger to do what we do, because one man or woman cannot save catch wrestling. But we can all do it together, regardless of what logo we have on our rash guard. Let's put the competition back on the mats where it belongs and stand together as a united global family. I'm not saying we need to drop the rivalries. A friendly rivalry, or even an unfriendly but respectful rivalry, is a great thing for the art, especially if it drives you to improve. But let's take the newbie, proudly posting their certificate of attendance at their very first catch seminar, and applaud them for becoming part of the greatest and most amazing art out there. So, over to you. Is this something you've noticed? Let me know. Put something in the comments. And to those of you still here at the very end of the video, I want to tell you something cool. There's a limited edition English Martial Arts Fight Team t-shirt. And unless I've ballsed it up completely, there should be a link under this video to a Teespring shop where, for the duration of September only, you can get yourself a pretty damn fine shirt. Fight team!